The courtroom was quiet in a way that made every sound feel louder than it should have been. The soft rustle of papers, the slow ticking of a clock, and the shallow breathing of a young girl sitting on a wooden bench, her hands folded tightly in her lap. Ava kept her eyes down. She didn't look at the judge. She didn't look at the couple beside her. Today was supposed to be the happiest day of her life. This was the hearing that would finalize her adoption. From the outside, everything looked perfect. Ava had entered the foster system as a newborn. She'd been found at a hospital, left behind with no note, no name, no explanation. Over the years, she moved from one temporary home to another, learning early not to unpack too much, not to get too attached. Families came and went, promising smiles, kind words, then quiet goodbyes until the Smiths. They were different, warm, organized, smiling in that calm, confident way adults have when they believe they're doing the right thing. They had already adopted 2 children and seemed to know exactly what they were doing. For months, Ava lived with them. She had her own room, regular meals, a schedule, family outings. On paper, it was everything she had ever hoped for. So when they asked if she wanted to be part of their family forever, Ava said yes. She said it quickly, too quickly. What she didn't say was that something inside her felt unfinished. As the court session began, the Smiths spoke confidently. They described Ava as kind, quiet, grateful. They talked about stability, structure, opportunity. They said they loved her. The judge listened, nodded, took notes. Ava said nothing. She stared at her shoes and waited for the moment to pass. But then something changed. The judge stopped writing. She looked up again, this time not at the paperwork, but at Ava herself. Her expression tightened, just slightly, as if a detail no one else noticed had finally clicked into place. She leaned forward and asked a question no one expected. Will you allow Ava to search for her biological parents after the adoption? The air in the courtroom shifted. Mr. Smith answered first, clearly caught off guard. Mrs. Smith followed quickly, her voice smooth, reassuring. Of course, she said. If Ava ever wants that, we'll support her. The judge didn't respond. Right away, she looked at Mrs. Smith. Then she asked again, quietly but firmly, Are you sure? And in that moment, Ava felt something break open inside her. Before anyone could react, the judge struck the gavel. Recess, 30 minutes. Gasps rippled through the room. Then the judge added something that made Ava's heart race. I'd like to speak with a child alone. Ava stood slowly, legs shaking. She had no idea what she was about to say, but for the first time in her life, someone was finally asking how she felt. Inside the judge's chambers, the noise of the courtroom disappeared. There were no lawyers, no parents, no audience, just Ava, a glass of lemonade, and a woman who wasn't asking her to be grateful but honest. The judge didn't start with difficult questions. She asked about school, about Ava's favorite food, about what she liked to do when she was alone. Ava answered politely, carefully, the way children learn to speak when they're afraid of saying the wrong thing. Then the judge leaned back slightly and said something that changed everything. Ava, today isn't about what adults want. It's about what you feel. And this is the only moment where your voice matters more than anyone else's. Ava's lips trembled. She tried to speak, but the words wouldn't come. Instead, tears did. I don't know why, Ava whispered through sobs. They're nice. They're good people. But when I think about being adopted, my chest hurts. Like I'm lying. The judge didn't interrupt. Ava continued. I keep thinking maybe there's something else I need to find first. Something about me. And if I don't, I'll always wonder. The judge nodded slowly. When court resumed, everyone sensed the tension. The Smith sat upright, hands clasped, confident but nervous. The judge turned to Ava. One question, she said gently, and I need the truth. The room went still. Ava, do you want to be adopted by the Smiths today? For a heartbeat, no one breathed. Ava stood, took a deep breath, and said the word that shocked everyone. No. Gasps filled the courtroom. But Ava wasn't done. I don't hate them, she said. I just don't feel ready, and if this is forever, it has to feel right, all the way. Silence followed. Then the judge spoke. This adoption will not be finalized. She looked at the Smiths. Love is not ownership, and safety does not replace truth. The Smiths were disappointed, hurt, but they understood. Ava walked out of the courtroom still uncertain, but no longer trapped. For the first time, her future wasn't chosen for her. She chose honesty, and that made all the difference.